Basically, this is an updated look at what Boruto and Kawaki are going to look like in the time skip. Dog, this is the first updated look at Boruto and Kawaki that we have in how long? How long has it been since that first chapter, first episode? I think it was what, like 2016-ish that the manga began, and 2017 the anime, if I'm not mistaken. You know, we got the time skip version of them just once for like literally a couple of pages and for like 20 seconds in the first episode of the anime. And since then we haven't had Boruto or Kawaki and what, you know, this time skip is going to look like. I really wish that with this, it would have been a little nice treat to at the very least get one other character that we have not seen, and they don't even got to be a significant character like a Sarada or a Mitsuki, but dog, it would have been, even if it was like Inoji, you know, maybe rocking a new hairdo and looking a little older or something. I think that would have been a nice treat to get. We didn't get it, but again, we do got Boruto and we got Kawaki, the first time we've seen them in a good minute. And I ain't gonna lie, I was a little taken back. I was taken back, people. I was taken back because I was like, why are people are saying no? There's some people that are actually saying we prefer the original design the way they looked. And I'm just there like, did anybody remember what early Boruto looked like? Did anybody remember Ikemoto before he became the refined guy that he is now? Like, those designs were kind of cool and we was hype or whatnot. And mostly I think a lot of it has to do with we didn't have any frame of reference for time skip Boruto at that particular point. So we just kind of like taking it at face value. But if you compare that look to the first episode, first chapter, the slams on it, it's so much more refined. The line art is way more crisp. Like, Ikemoto definitely improved. So when I'm seeing people dunking on it, oh, I prefer the... You prefer the what, huh? Like, shout out to Ikemoto, because to take up the task of doing a sequel spin-off to one of the biggest manga of all time, no small feat. You gotta give the man respect. On top of that, he's been a damn near day one. He was on chapter 7, kind of biblical if you think about it, but from chapter 7 of Naruto on, Ikemoto was rubbing elbows with Kishimoto, working very diligently with him since then, according to the stories at the very least. So you gotta give him props. Like, yo, dog, he's been in here for a minute. He tried his thing, but I ain't gonna cap. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yo, the old one no, the new one is way more dope to me. I like Kawaki's new hairstyle. Boruto looks a little bit younger. Maybe that's just me, but he kind of looks a little bit younger. And granted, if this is gearing up towards like, yo, let's just say in, you know, a month or two, or let's just say even 3 or 4 months, the time skip is going to start, whatever. This could be that the time skip versions that we see of Kawaki and Boruto are still older than even the time skip ones that these two are going to be. Boruto and Kawaki, the first look at their time skip look since chapter 1, episode 1 of the series. A difference in what they look like. I think that this is still a ways before that inevitable final clash. So we may still very well get those designs or something close to it, even though they're not that far off, to be honest with you. But we may get them because Boruto looks a little bit younger there. He looks a little younger than the one that's holding his head and he's like, oh, Kawaki, why would you do this? He looks kind of younger. The time skip one might be maybe a year or two after even this time skip thingy majig, or it could just be that the natural progression of them as they lead towards that, you know, battle, so to speak, the fated battle or whatever, eventually they're going to age up, but it's not going to be another dramatic time skip. There's very few series that get 2 big dramatic time skips, and I don't think Boruto is one that has shown that, like, yo, dog, they're going to give it all the works or whatever. So don't expect like a massive dramatic time skip. Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be more time in between there. So if you're expecting right off the gate time skip, Boruto and Kawaki clashing on the Hokage monument, yes, again, they look younger in this one. And the fact that they're even doing this, the fact that they're even showing right now and doing this competition, the fact that they're rolling this out this way means that the time skip, I hate to say it, but I personally feel like 2023 will probably be when it starts. Like, I feel like there's no way we're in 2024 still waiting for the time skip. Yo, Chocho, I ain't gonna lie, she actually looks like a really dope character when she has the butterfly mode or whatnot. She looks pretty freaking cool. I mean, anyway, I feel like the Chocho hate is a little bit extreme. Like, let's even dial it back a little bit, because yeah, when she goes in the butterfly mode or whatever, but in retrospect, it was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, dog. At the end of the day, this is the next legacy of Choji. And at the same time, she does have some capabilities. If you watch some of the anime original stuff, there is some really cool things with her. I think it's a little bit excessive on the hate on Chocho. I'm gonna just keep it a buck, just straight up. And I've said this before, this isn't new. If we're right now, we're in February, where the manga's at right now, I'm gonna call it, they're also gonna do it around like a seasonal shift. So I'm gonna bet that it'll be similar to like when anime new season drops. It'll be like, let's just say maybe a July. I could see the time skip officially kicking off. Granted, this competition, which also is a little bit of breadcrumbs, if this is really indeed connected to, we're launching the time skip soon. So March 30th, end of this competition, which if they're going to deliberate and whatnot, we could very well see the time skip in May, June, or July. I think it won't happen any sooner than that. I think we're still a little bit off, but we're way closer than we've been. And it looks like they're actually finally gonna let it go. Chocho versus Sarada was flames. Facts. It was anime original, but that was actually a really dope battle. And I think in the time skip, if they take it serious of not just completely relying on Naruto and Sasuke to bring in, everybody or whatnot, if they actually make some really cool characters, you could make Chocho a really awesome character. You could make Sarada even more epic and awesome than she's kind of been, because honestly, Sarada and Mitsuki, they've been put to the back burner for a while now. Like, you could do a lot to make all of these characters really awesome and not have to rely on, obviously, granted, if you've been reading the chapters, you're not relying on Naruto too much more because he's been sent the way of the seventh. Thoughts on when more info about Boruto's Jagan will be dived into? I think they're gonna really dive more into a lot of those stuff in the time skip. I think they've really been dead set on trying to divide the two things. Like, if Boruto is a mirror of Naruto Part 1, then Boruto Part 2, whatever they're going to call it, is going to be a mirror of Shippuden. That's why probably there hasn't been much mentions of Madara Uchiha. That's probably why we haven't got a lot of these intricate details. Like, they've been trying to keep it as simple and basic as possible. I feel like with Ishiki, they tried to go the, Z Shippuden route. We're really making it grandiose, and they probably were like, okay, so we see what we could do when we get there. Now let's try and make it that the other characters can make those same type of impactful moments of Baryon mode Naruto. Like, because if they could recapture that magic, but with the next gen, oh, we out of here, dog. Especially where, I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this one, but maybe not. I don't know. I think Boruto has a good shot with a big rebrand of being the biggest or one of the biggest current gen battle series in the next couple of years. Hear me out. I know people are like, they got the eggs ready. They're like, yo, get this motherfucker out of here. Wham! Well, just think about it. Jujutsu Kaisen's ending this year. Black Clover's on his final arc. My Hero's on his final arc. You start whittling down the competition. Tokyo Revenger is one of the biggest sellers, is just wrapped up. Demon Slayer is done. What competition is it going to really have that is going to be like, yo, it's out of this world, there's no way to beat it? Obviously, One Piece is, going to be One Piece or whatever, but there's still high, with Boruto, if they play their cards right, there's a possibility that, especially compared to the other competition, Boruto could slay. And if there's nothing new that's coming in and Boruto just keeps increasing with this time skip to being the series that a lot of us want it to be and feel it should be, it could take it. It could take it. I know it sounds far-fetched right now because of the slander, I guess you would say, although some of it is valid, the criticisms against it, I guess. Do you think Sasuke will get a power-up because Naruto got Baryon mode? Absolutely. He's well overdue for a freaking power-up. Come on, dog. He's missing an eye. He's missing an arm. It has to. I love the fan theory of the Susanoo armor looking thing that gives him an extra arm and stuff like that. I think it'll probably be a little bit different, to be honest, depending on how they go with it. Because, like, I'm not the biggest fan of, hey, let's just straight up do what the fans have been saying. Like, that's what kind of Dragon Ball Super has done to a certain degree. And of course, Dragon Ball Heroes, not superhero, where it's just like a absolute insanity that's like a little bit of a reach. So, but I still like the idea of Sasuke with the Susanoo armor. There's a lot of other things I could do with the ocular jutsu. Something with his Sharingan. Maybe I thought something really fire, and it's going to go into a whole other theory video, which maybe some people already covered it. If they did, kudos to them. But yo, imagine him with like a Amaterasu arm, like just a black flame arm on some like Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho type shit. That would be crazy, because if it's something like a powered up version of it where he could like maneuver and maybe throw projectiles and actually use it like a real hand, that would be fire. Do you think the time skip is close? It's not coincidence that Ikamoto dropped these designs right after the big chapter we got last month. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm gonna say somewhere between now and the summertime. Anything after that, only way I could see it going to fall is because of the whole back to school situation. Hear me out. Boruto has been almost like growing in Japan with its viewers, right? It started off, even before the Boruto Naruto the movie stuff, they're in the academy. So if it's been growing with the audience, they might be like, hey, back to school, new year. And by the way, Boruto is not the same Boruto you know anymore. The kiddos done grew like you did, fam. You can resonate with them still. So that's where I could see if they decided to push it even more, it would be like fall latest, somewhere like September-ish or August or something like that. But yeah, anything after that, and it's like, well, we're already on overtime, let's be clear. But because of Kishimoto adding in, you know, on a grand scope, a lot of this pacing, or not the pacing, he utilized this pacing to add in a lot of this, I guess you would say, just character development, characterization, exposition, all of that good stuff. He utilized this time to really build that. The time skip is probably going to be a little bit more meaningful for the next gen, for Kawaki, for Boruto, for the village as a whole, opposed to if we would have jumped straight to it from the Ishiki Otsutsuki stuff. If we would have jumped straight from Ishiki Otsutsuki, we would have still been relying on Naruto and Sasuke and thinking about Naruto and Sasuke. So admittedly, at the very least, for the sake of the cast of characters that they have been pushing to be the next big things, the next important ones, okay, giving us this time to cook a little bit more with these characters has been beneficial. The time skip ain't gonna just be like, oh, you know, where's Naruto at? We're gonna be looking at it like, okay, let's see what we got here. And all it takes is for the reintroductions of these characters to be really awesome, for people to really rock with them. If Chocho shows up and she is really, really dope, she could be everyone's favorite character. And a lot of people like to shit on Chocho. She could be everyone's favorite character if she shows up in this new time skip and she's like, I guess with maybe a different, more refined personality, in terms of she's not just like always thinking about eating chips, like she's more eye on the prize, on the mission and stuff like that. It could be dope. Likewise with a lot of the other characters. I don't care about Inojin, flat out. I'm just keeping it real. I'm sorry if that makes any. I don't care about Inojin at all. Making Inojin a little bit more likable or intriguing to me, and a bunch of the other characters. So yeah, there was a little bit of credence and made this thing a little bit more exciting for the time skip, opposed to again having, yo, where's Naruto and Sasuke? I don't care about anything else. Like, there's now that opportunity.
Lights be flashing and looking at me, such a odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably repeat, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.